Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Investigating the explosion. An update days after a woman's trapped inside a Stillman Valley house that blew up.
Plus, Rockford upgrades for internet. City leaders hope faster speeds provide a population bump.
And including Rockford, as the governor shows off a new high-speed train in Illinois, he promises a line to the Forest City. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson.
We still don't know what caused a Stillman Valley house to explode, trapping one person inside.
The fire department does say she is expected to be okay. Firefighters rushed to the home on East High Road Friday afternoon. The two-story house was reduced to rubble. Neighbors heard a woman calling for help and were able to find her. Firefighters rescued her from under heavy debris. She was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Right now, no foul play or illegal activity is suspected. Stillman Fire, the state fire marshal, and ATF are investigating. A new fiber optic network project is underway in Rockford. It will provide fast internet for individuals and businesses.
Jess Lipson was at the official launch today, and Jess, the hope is this also attracts people to move to the Forest City.
Eric, Mimi, that's exactly right. The goal is to bring in new people who work remote, and Rockford is putting themselves on the map as the first city in Illinois to be doing this.
This investment in our city, I believe, is really a true game changer, bringing stronger and faster networks to our community.
Construction is underway to bring open access fiber network to internet users in Rockford.
Residents and businesses are going to flourish with this service. We're bringing competition to the broadband market, and competition makes things better and more affordable to residents.
The Rockford Fiber City project is privately funded by Sci-Fi Networks. It will cost $200 million, but not a single cent will be coming from taxpayers. Residents of Rockford could change to Sci-Fi's providers, which they say will give them about 100 times faster internet.
Ultimately, we want everybody to hop on whatever type of internet provider that they choose, right? Right now, we're pretty limited in that selection. So our biggest hope here is to put it everywhere so that everybody has access, and then ultimately whatever they choose to go with.
It will take 4 years of construction to lay down the 1,300 miles of fiber optic cables across the city. A major driving factor is helping those working or going to school from home.
We believe this fiber optic network system will help fill that digital divide gap that we've seen in our city. It will also help us attract more high-tech businesses to our community. And I mentioned this earlier, there's really this battle waging throughout the country to get remote workers to choose your city to live in.
So video conferencing, telecommunication calls, those will be crisp and clean, along with Netflix or watching videos on TV.
If interested in learning more about this project, you can visit our website, mystateline.com. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Jess. Illinois will receive $1 billion in federal funding to expand broadband in the state. More than $40 billion will be distributed among the 50 states and Washington, D.C. The money will be used to deliver high-speed internet to places where there's either no service or service is too slow. It's part of the Biden administration's plan to ensure that every household in the U.S. has access to high-speed internet by the year 2030.
In the 21st century in America, high-speed internet is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Every person in our nation, no matter where they live, should be able to access and afford high-speed internet.
States will have until the end of this year to submit proposals for the funding. Then companies will get grants to start building the infrastructure.
2 men are dead after a stabbing and shooting in Rockford over the weekend. Friday, police were called to 19th Avenue near 17th Street around 2:30 in the afternoon for a man stabbed. When officers got on scene, witnesses told them someone stabbed the man during a fight inside a house on 19th. 33-year-old Roger Penny died at the hospital. Then early Saturday morning, a man was shot in the chest. Officers responded to Sunnyside Avenue and Vermont Street around 3:30. That's just south of Belden Park off Kilburn. Neighbors told police there was a party in the street and someone opened fire toward the crowd. 19-year-old Daquan Davis showed up at the hospital with a gunshot wound. He died at the hospital. Police have not released any information on suspects in either of these crimes. If you have information to share, call police or leave an anonymous tip on the Tip 411 app.
Illinois is investing in high-speed rail that may one day connect Rockford with other cities. This morning, Governor J.B. Pritzker announced the start of new high-speed rail service between Chicago and St. Louis. Trains on the Lincoln service route can now travel up to 110 miles an hour. That's 20 miles an hour faster than before. The governor says plans are in the works to offer high-speed rail from Chicago to Rockford.
This is how you build jobs. This is how you gain economic opportunity. Rebuild Illinois includes over $1 billion to expand and improve our rail systems, including projects up and down the Chicago-St. Louis high-speed rail corridor. We're working with the federal government to extend passenger rail service to Rockford and to the Quad Cities.
Construction on the high-speed rail project took 8 years and 5 more years of testing. The upgrade cost nearly $2 billion. And some Rockford buses are getting an upgrade. The Rockford Mass Transit District will receive just over $4 million to buy newer hybrid electric buses. The Low No program is a federal program focused on transitioning gas-guzzling vehicles into more energy-efficient ones. RMTD just acquired 6 new battery electric buses this month, as well as charging stations.
Severe weather tears apart communities in several states, including neighborhoods just south of Indianapolis, Indiana. The National Weather Service confirms 3 tornadoes touched down in 3 separate counties. Johnson County took a direct hit. Damage is stretched across 3 miles near the city of Greenwood. According to the sheriff, 75 homes have anywhere from moderate to severe damage. In Martin County, at least 1 person died when a tornado leveled the home that person was in. Indiana's governor pledged resources to help with storm assessment and recovery. Our Saturday night storms caused scattered damage in Stephenson County. Crews were out in Freeport yesterday removing trees from roads and yards. If you've got debris from the storm, you can take it to either the Freeport Public Works yards on Island Avenue or Timber Industries across from the Stephenson County Fairgrounds.
There was a short-lived rebellion against the Russian government over the weekend.
Coming up, President Biden reacts as those involved in the attempted coup head into exile.
And coming up at 6, 2 world views separated by the doors of a local library as it plans to host a storytime event featuring a local drag queen.
And our temperatures have been a little bit on the cooler side now for the 2nd straight day. We do warm right back up as we get into tomorrow, but that comes with some haze. I'll let you know when the haze is expected to leave and when we see our rain chances return coming up in just a few minutes.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
The leader of a group of Russian mercenaries is believed to be on his way to Belarus. That's part of the deal brokered to end an armed challenge to Moscow's leadership.
Top U.S. officials are questioning if the situation has exposed cracks in Russian President Vladimir Putin's authority. Rashad Hudson has more from Washington.
President Biden says the U.S. and its NATO allies are ready for whatever happens next in Russia.
The ultimate outcome of all this remains to be seen.
As mercenary troops briefly rebelled against Russian President Vladimir Putin and his military leaders, President Biden spoke with key NATO allies.
They agreed with me that we had to make sure we gave Putin no excuse. Let me emphasize, we gave Putin no excuse to blame this on the West or to blame this on NATO.
On Saturday, Wagner Group troops marched toward Moscow after months of public disputes between the mercenary leader Yevgeny Prigozhin and Russian defense officials.
This was part of a struggle within the Russian system.
The president of Belarus brokered an agreement to end the crisis. Criminal charges against the group were dropped, and they will now go into exile in Belarus. This was the biggest challenge to Putin in more than 20 years of power. Secretary of State Antony Blinken told CNN 16 months ago Putin appeared poised to seize the capital of Ukraine. Now he's had to defend his own.
What we've seen is extraordinary, and I think you've seen cracks emerge that weren't there before.
Ohio Republican Congressman Mike Turner says the situation raises questions about Putin's grip on power.
This really does hurt Putin in his efforts to continue the war in Ukraine.
President Biden says he also spoke to Ukraine's president to reaffirm U.S. support. Reporting in Washington, Rashad Hudson.
Well, we finally got some much needed rain over the weekend, but it wasn't enough to lift us out of this drought.
Coming up, Jordan looks ahead to a muggy and hot week.
Now, your first warn weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
After a mild middle to the month of June, we've actually gotten a lot warmer as of the last week and a half or so. And over the last week, we've really seen a lot of temperatures that made their way well into the 80s and even a few days into the low 90s. Now, recently, yesterday and going in today have been a little bit on the cooler side, back below normal. But otherwise, we've still seen some of these warmer temperatures really not too far away from the state line either. Further off across the plains, still temperatures have made their way into the 80s and even into the 90s in a few spots, but northerly flow, what we're getting from this low pressure system now exiting the area, has actually kept our temperatures a little bit on the lower side, with many spots down in the low 70s at the moment. We're at 74 right now in Rockford, 70 in DeKalb, 75 in Freeport and in Galena, seeing a few peaks of sunshine trying to work its way in. Winds are still a little bit on the stronger side, with many wind speeds up around 15 miles per hour. Even getting close to 20 miles per hour when we look further up to the north. In addition to the slightly cooler and more overcast skies, it also looks a little bit hazy out there when we look especially off in the distance. Our SkyTrack camera right now looking out in Beloit, Wisconsin, as well as the downtown Rockford SkyTrack camera. Visibility is across a pretty long distance, actually a little bit on the lower side because of wildfire smoke that's been entering back into the area over the last couple of hours and even the last day or so. Many visibilities down around 5 miles, down to 2.5 miles of visibility when we look up in Janesville. So some of that wildfire smoke still situated over the area, even underneath some of this cloud cover, which might allow for some of it even to be able to be smelled as we get into the afternoon and into the evening tonight. That does stick around as we get into the day tomorrow. Even though we get a little bit less on the cloud cover, we will still be holding on to a lot of that haze for the afternoon. At the moment, we are still seeing some of those overcast skies, and within that, a few spottier showers trying to work their way in as well. Very similar to what we saw yesterday, but a little bit on the lower side for some of those spotty showers. They do continue at least a little bit longer into the overnight tonight, some clearing working its way in, but we will hold on to that haze all the way through into the day tomorrow. So even though Futurecast does look clear with temperatures in the 80s, just know that there will be a little bit more of a haze, which might appear even to be cloudier conditions as we get into the afternoon. Additional rain chances do start to work their way in, especially as we get into late Tuesday, going into Wednesday and into the middle of the week. Temperatures still falling all the way down into the upper 50s for the overnight low tonight, down to 59. We return back to the 80s as we get into the afternoon tomorrow, back up to 82 in Rockford. Even despite some of those hazier skies, things remaining a little bit on the comfortable side. As we get into the middle of the week, a little bit of a pattern change coming in. The heat dome that's been situated across parts of Texas starting to lift a little bit further north. And what's going to happen is the jet stream is going to go up and around that ridge of high pressure, creating what is called a ring of fire pattern, leading to additional storm chances for at least us here locally as we get into the middle of the week. So there's still a lot of uncertainty as to how exactly this pattern is going to develop for the middle of the week, but at least as of now, know that there are additional rain chances and even storm chances once we get into that Wednesday, all the way going through into the end of the week time frame. Temperatures also on the rise as we get back into the 80s and then into the upper 80s once we get into the middle of the week. Additional rain and storm chances. Still uncertainty as how much rain we could see from that, but any rain at this point would be good rain for our drought conditions.
Jordan, thanks.
Reagan's in next with sports. It's a big week for the Blackhawks.
And they are making big moves ahead of Wednesday's NHL draft. Reagan tells us about today's trade next.
Now sports with Reagan Holgate.
It's a big week in the Blackhawks franchise as they get set to select what many believe to be a generational superstar with the first pick in Wednesday's NHL draft. Here's what GM Kyle Davidson had to say about this year's pick.
The opportunity to pick in an area where those star players traditionally come from is very exciting, and you know, to possibly add a star player and a very high performer into our rebuild is a very important box to check for us, and we believe we've got a great opportunity to do so.
And in the wake of the draft, the Blackhawks are acquiring Ford's Taylor Hall and Nick Foligno from Boston. It was a bit of a salary dump from Boston. They needed to get Hall's $6 million cap hit off the books. In return, the Hawks are sending defensemen Ian Mitchell and Alec Regula. The former #1 pick tallied 36 points in 61 games last season and gives the Hawks a prime candidate to feature alongside Wednesday's #1 pick in Connor Bedard. Foligno had a bounce-back season in Boston and is known for being a great leader. GM Kyle Davidson added that these two bring a wealth of experience that will help with the development of their roster. Switching gears to some baseball, Luis Robert has been named the AL Player of the Week, his first career weekly honor. Robert was hitting .444 last week with 4 home runs, 5 RBI, and 6 runs scored over 6 games. He recorded his 5th career multi-homer game yesterday in the Sox 4-1 victory over the Red Sox. Robert will look to continue leading this offense tonight as they take on Ohtani and the Angels in LA. 8:30 start time with Dylan Cease on the bump. In more league news, it seems Aaron Judge's toe injury sounds worse than we were led to initially think. The Yankees star admitted to reporters that he actually tore a ligament after he crashed into a wall at Dodger Stadium. He also added that he still has pain in his foot when he walks and doesn't know when he will play again this season. Now it's prime time for Summer League basketball, and one of the biggest tournaments of the season kicks off tonight. It's the series at East High School. We'll have all the action tonight on 9 at Fox and 10 right here on WTVO. That's all for sports. We'll be right back.
Great, we finally got a little bit of rain over the weekend. Today it almost felt like it was going to rain. It's like that muggy, windy condition out there.
Yeah, even as, like you said, as windy as it was, and temperatures clearly not as warm as they were over the weekend. At some point in the weekend, it still felt a little muggy.
Yeah, if the moisture kind of from the rain that we had really didn't soak into the ground as much as it could have, and really what should have, and some of that kind of worked its way back up into the atmosphere. So we've been dealing with some slightly muggier dew points throughout the day today, and some scattered rain showers even showing up on our First Warn interactive radar from Rockford Auto Glass and more. But now, even though we have the overcast skies, not a whole lot of rain going on, but notice out in the distance, it's definitely a lot hazier, and that's actually from wildfire smoke that's been working its way into the area. Now that's underneath some of the cloud cover, however, and we're still going to be stuck with some of that as we get into the rest of the day going into tomorrow. Temperatures, though, warming right back up into the 80s by the time we get in the middle of the week.
Thanks, Jordan.
And thank you for spending some of your time with us. Stay safe.